Both Edie and I are most pleased to be here to announce the creation of the Broad Institute. The purpose of the Broad Institute is to create a new type of biomed research institute to build on what has been accomplished over 13 years of the Human Genome Project. Let me tell you how we got here.
Human genetics was virtually impossible in the 1980s. Elaborate, complicated molecular biology, incredibly slow sequencing. I was a young scientist, drawn into the Human Genome Project by the dream that all these things that took armies to do could be done by single graduate students. And it happened.
We are here to celebrate the completion of the first survey of the entire human genome.
Once a warehouse for beer and popcorn sold at Fenway Park, now transformed into an international scientific landmark as the leading sequencing center in the world.
It's an amazing Boston story. Beer and popcorn warehouse becomes Human Genome Project.
The first time I walked into 320 Charles was actually my first day on the job here. And I was just young and naive, and I wore high heels, and I don't know what I was thinking. It took me 10 seconds to realize I had made a grave mistake.
Through the work of so many people who have that kind of expertise to bring those sort of manufacturing principles into science. And it just felt like this is like nowhere else.
There were few walls. It sent a real signal for how people would interact in open spaces. And you see this now in modern research buildings everywhere. And 320 Charles was really the place where that started.
A lot of people thought that once the Human Genome Project was done, we could go back to business as usual. Anything but that. And we realized that it was not a one-off, it was a new way of doing science that could propel individual creativity and individual discovery by removing the barriers to smart young people taking on hard problems.
The sequence of the human genome was a fine start, but it's only a start. The goal of the Broad Institute is to empower the next generation of biomedical scientists by providing a setting in which they can come together to tackle those larger collaborative projects that can't readily be done in the traditional setting.
Early on, there was a feeling that it wasn't going to be that traditional model. There was a value placed on building things for the common good.
There was a certain energy in the air. We were really deeply committed to saying we should give the data away immediately, in its entirety. Not just the bits that we publish on. That's now the standard that we all take for granted, but it didn't used to be that way.
We were going to take an approach that nobody had taken before, and without working collaboratively on some of these big projects, we wouldn't be charting the path forward that we have been.
We approached everything as if anything was possible. There was nothing going to get in our way.
And to have that many people all together saying, we just must make all of this succeed, and that much optimism and energy, it was exhilarating.
I remember thinking, this is the future. This is what we're going to use in medicine. We have that sort of blueprint, we have the roadmap, right? And now we just have to go and learn from it and apply it.
We're always wanting to take on something that's even more ambitious and more audacious and slightly out of reach, but that has the potential to really advance the entire research ecosystem. And that's what makes this place so exciting.